everyone, I'm Jamie Hannafin, the owner of Pop That Paint It Studio here in Waterville, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to paint this watermelon painting, perfect for summer. Hopefully you're all staying busy doing things while you're at home. This is going to be a little different than our typical step-by-step classes, so I'm going to be walking you through exactly how to create this watermelon painting. Before we get started though, I do want you guys to go, the only thing that's not in your DIY kit is a cup of water to rinse your paintbrushes. So I do want you to go and grab a cup of water for rinsing. And then in your boxes, you should have a paper plate. And then with all of your little paints there, you may or may not need your paper plate. That's fine if you don't, but it's there just in case you want to mix some of your colors. But you should have little cups of paint. I did put in extra paint so you guys can choose whatever color you would like for your background, so you don't have to do the aqua here. You can choose pink, purple, whatever you want. And then you will also have in your kit a paper towel and a large brush and a small brush. And then you will have your canvas here, which will be pre-sketched with your watermelon on it. And then also, if you fall behind at any time during this video, you can either rewind it or you do have your step-by-step instructions in your kit for you to follow along with in case I'm going too fast. So let's not waste any time and go ahead and get started. So the very first step that we are going to do is we are going to use our large brush here. And we are going to paint the background first. So the background is going to be everything on the outside of your watermelon. So I'm going to do the aqua color here. So I'm going to dip my brush in my aqua paint. And then I'm also going to dip it in my white paint because I want it to be a little lighter. And then I'm going to trace the line here around the top part of my watermelon. It's okay if it's not perfect. And then I'm going to paint everything on the outside of my watermelon. Hopefully you're all enjoying this nice weather that we're having. Okay, I don't want this to be one solid color. I do like to have some streaks in here. That way you have some light aqua color and some dark, whatever you like. So I'm going to take this all the way up to the top. Now this is optional, but I do like to wrap around the paint around the edges here, just so it doesn't look like a mess when you go and hang it up. But it's optional. Some people like the messy look, some people don't. Okay. Now I kind of want my painting to be a little two-tone color here, so I'm going to leave the aqua on my brush and then I'm going to dip it into my blue paint. And then now I'm going to paint the bottom part of my watermelon. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around the bottom, around the outside here. Remember, we don't want to paint on the inside of the watermelon. Okay, so I'm going to take my blue, go all the way around. And then I'm going to add a little bit more aqua onto my brush so that way the two colors blend together. You want your paint to be wet if you want it to blend. So now I'm just going to go back and forth so that way the two colors mesh together. Remember, you can choose any colors that you want for your background. This is what's going to make it yours and unique. Okay, so now I'm going to paint the bottom part of my watermelon. I think blue always looks really good with red here. Purple also looks very good with red. I did try to put colors in your kits that I thought would look good with red. for your watermelon there. And I kind of like the messy look, so if it's a little messy, you can leave it nice and streaky. If you need help outlining your watermelon, feel free to ask someone to help you. Okay. Okay, so there is my background, all painted, nice and blue. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my paintbrush in my water cup here. And then I'm going to wipe it off on my paper towel because I don't want it to be too wet. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to paint the red portion of our watermelon. So we're going to use that same large brush and we're going to dip it in our red paint. And then now we're going to paint the inside of the watermelon. Now you do have 2 extra stripes. So one of these is going to be white and then the outside one is going to be green. So we don't want to go into the white section or the green section with our red. So go ahead and paint this inside section. It's okay if you go a little outside of your pencil lines. The pencil lines are just there for a guideline. Take that all the way up to your seeds too. You'll still be able to see your pencil line through that. Okay? Give your brush a little rinse in your water cup once you're done painting the red. And then now we're going to dip that same brush in our white paint and we're going to paint the white strip here. It's okay if some of the white blends in with some of your red. See how mine's starting to turn like a pink color, and that's okay. If you have too much red on your brush, just go ahead and give it another little rinse there. But I don't mind the 2 colors blending together a little bit. Okay? And what color do you think comes next once we're done with the white? We're going to do green. So give your brush a rinse. And then next I'm going to put that lime green on my brush, and now I'm going to do the outside of my watermelon. Like I said, I like to have my lines be a little messy. You don't have to have yours messy, but I do. They don't have to be perfect. Okay? Now while we're letting the inside of our watermelon dry here, we can go ahead and work around and do the black polka dots around the outside. So I'm going to set my large brush in my water cup, and then we're going to jump over to our small brush here, and we're going to do these black polka dots. Now you can do those big, you can do those small, you could do little squiggly lines if you want to. You don't have to do polka dots, but we're going to dip our small brush in our black paint. And then I'm going to start up on the top corner here and then just work my way around. So you could put your paintbrush on your canvas here and then swirl it in a circle like that. And then we're going to fill it in. I like to have 2 different sizes of polka dots for my background. So you could do some big ones, you could do some small ones. If your paint is really, really wet, you can either use a blow dryer to blow dry it. The heat is what dries it. Or you can go and grab a snack and come back, and it should be good to go once you're finished with that. But sometimes if your paint is too wet, it's going to get muddy with your black paint there. We don't want that. You can either rest your hand on something, or you can hold it with your other hand so that way you have a nice steady hand. If your paint's wet. Okay, we'll do some small ones. Now before I work my way around to this side here, I'm going to go ahead and do my black outline around the top of my watermelon. That way you're not running your hand through any wet paint as you go. So I'm going to stand in front of the painting here and I'm going to do this first line going right on the top of the watermelon. Remember, it doesn't have to be a perfect line. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my watermelon seeds on the middle here. We're going to do those all black. Okay? Now I'm going to do a black line going in between the white and the green here. We're going to go all the way around the outside. If you need to pick up your canvas and hold it, that's fine too. Whatever's easiest to do the painting here. And like I said, I don't like this to be a perfect black line, so you can make this a little messy if you want to. And then I'm going to do another one right on the outside. You can do little black lines going in your green watermelon rind. And then I'm going to finish my black dots around the outside here. You can pick and choose wherever you want to put them. Now the very last step that we're gonna do is I'm gonna add these little white highlights in the middle of my seeds. So I'm gonna use the same small brush here and we're gonna give it a rinse, get all the black out. And then we're gonna dip it in our white paint once more, and then we're gonna do one line on each side of our watermelon. Now my hand ran through my red paint, so I'm gonna go back to my big brush here and just touch up my red paint. Add a little bit more red over top. Now you might need help with the black outline, and that's okay. If you need help, ask someone to help you. That's gonna be the toughest part there. And then you should have your watermelon painting all complete. Like I said, if it went too fast, you can go ahead and rewind it or pause it and go back to the video, but you're gonna let these dry here depending on how much paint you have, you wanna let these dry for a little while before you go ahead and hang them up. So you do want to rinse out your paintbrushes if you want to keep them. If the paint dries on them, they're going to get hard and you won't be able to use them anymore. So I hope you all had fun, and I can't wait to have you back in the studio again, and I hope everyone enjoys their summer.